You know, the other day I was looking for that lovely picture of, I say lovely picture, that's very vain, isn't it? But a lovely picture that I found of the brilliant late playwright and scriptwriter and all sorts of great raconteur, Sir Tom Stoppard. And you know, when you're looking through pictures and you sort of stumble across, you do that, don't you? You start to wonder, oh, I'd forgotten about that. Oh, I'd forgotten I'd met that person and all that sort of stuff. It's terrible, isn't it? How the mind plays tricks on you many years later and you think, I don't remember meeting that person. Or, you know, I've got interviews where I've interviewed people, and truly, if I hadn't got the interview, don't really have that much recollection. Not because they're not interesting, but because you're churning a lot of that out, particularly in the world of television at that point. You just, you know, well, here's this, you go to this room, you do this. And so, you know, at the end of the day, you think that was nice, but you don't necessarily, it's about enjoying the moment, isn't it? There lies a very good point, that, isn't it? Say after me, yes, Neil. Absolutely. Sorry. Welcome back, by the way, if you've just joined the channel. Nice to have your company as ever. But you know what I mean? You don't always, it's like you just, everything's so fast. I wanted to share this particular picture with you because this is, of course, a lovely, lovely lady, Hayley Mills. And I was lucky enough to meet Hayley Mills on a number of occasions, and you know, she's always just divine, right? I've met her sister Juliet Mills, met her late father Sir John Mills. What a good actor. I love John Mills, don't you? When you see that in the credits, you know, as you sort of start with the movie, you know you're in for a good thing, don't you? I like John Mills in Hobson's Choice. Have you seen that one? Brilliant. Yeah, I think it's Brenda de Banzi as well, who's with him. Just a wonderful film. Never get tired of watching it because it's positivity, isn't it? Yeah, J.B. Priestley, you see, good positivity, good northerner. Now, Hayley Mills, I just wanted to share this story with you, if I may. As ever, let me explain. As I say, welcome back. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for your time. Now, are you a Hayley Mills fan? You see, when you think about Hayley Mills, we often think about the child sort of stuff, don't we? Remember, I think she made 6+ movies for Disney. She told me some wonderful stories about Walt Disney, you know, and the sort of character he was, you know, because really it was a business. And I mean, of course it's a business, but as Hayley pointed out, when she was very young, you know, she didn't realize that it was a business. It was just fun. Even though her father was John Mills, she said he made everything just wonderful, you know. It didn't matter whether it was the movie Whistle Down the Wind or The Parent Trap or Pollyanna and stuff like that. She just said she enjoyed what she was doing. She didn't see it as a chore. She didn't have the problems because she had a wonderful, strong family unit around her, like her sister, Juliet Mills, you know. Now, by the time in this particular picture that I'd met Hayley Mills, I'd met her on a number of occasions, but we'd bumped into each other because, don't mind sharing this with you, chums, I'd been for an audition at that particular theatre, which I think was the Lyric Theatre, just off Shaftesbury Avenue. And the trouble with me is, because I've been in so many theatres, when you are standing there, you know, on the stage and you're reciting or singing your song or whatever, you're looking around thinking, all right, you know, so-and-so's been here, or, you know, Hilda Baker stood here, or, you know what I mean? I'm a terrible wanderer of mind, you know, I think, oh, right, you know, and then at the end when they say, oh, yes, we like you, what, really? Oh, right, okay. You know? And so consequently, I came out and Hayley Mills was there and she said, you know, how did you get on? I said, oh, it's, you know, I'm not so sure, because at that point I didn't. And she was also with another good friend of mine, the late and brilliant theatrical producer, Bill Kenwright. And Bill was just very good. You know, he knew how to put bills together, mix and match the, you know, the sort of, the cast. So it was very complimentary. You don't get that level of expertise now, I would say, in the world of theatre. Hayley Mills, though, gave me a lot of great advice, because she said, and this is the thing where you learn from being with people who have got so much experience. And, you know, I said, you know, what was it like? And she said, you know what? When I was 21, she said, they sent an official photographer round. I can't remember who she was dancing with, but she said some famous pop star. And she said, you realise when you're 21, you think you know it all, don't you? And you know nothing. She said, you know, you think, oh, I know how this game works. She said, even when you get to 41, 51, 61, you've still got really no idea, because, you know, you're just being pushed around for whether you want to do the job or you need the salary or whatever it may be. And she said the life lesson, Neil, is to stand back, look at the bigger picture and decide, is this what I want to do? The fun thing that she told me, though, was at the time of being in Pollyanna, the movie, which was a big success for her, she said, you know, I mean, she'd worked with all these great people like Rosalind Russell, who I just think is terrific as an actress. And, you know, I said, what were they like? And she said, you know, they were always so nice to me. I got on incredibly well. But she said, looking back, you know, I'm a child, so that they're always going to be nice because I'm a child. And she wasn't being derogatory, but she said, you know, she didn't see the other side of those people. But what she did say was, she said, oh, there was a Pollyanna doll. And I said, what was that like? And she said, well, it wasn't exactly my favourite. She said, I don't know if it was meant to be like me. And she said, you know, but, you know, it sold very well. And I wanted to throw this out there with you because that, as I say, the memory of Hayley struck me as a memory. But did you have the Pollyanna doll? Did you buy it? Were you into that? And more importantly, as Everchums, were you a Hayley Mills fan? What were your particular favourites of her movies? And on top of all of that, you know, I remember her probably more growing up before I'd met her, in fact, in the Flame Trees of Thika, I think it was. And then she went on to things like Wild at Heart, all that sort of stuff. Still working today, still as beautiful as ever. Such, you know, when you meet somebody and they're everything you expect them to be, well, I could say that was my memory of Hayley Mills. As ever, what was yours? Neil Sean, Kensington, London.